is trying to take over the league. Welcome to Because I Feel Like It. My name is Nelson Drew, and we're going to talk about Anthony Edwards today. Make sure you like and subscribe. Man, I just want to get on here and let you know that Anthony Edwards is the man. Anthony Edwards is going to be the guy. As they say, Anthony Edwards is going to be him. If you guys notice what is going on in NBA, there's a passing of the mantle. Now, let me get you wrong, because Anthony Edwards is not just the only guy who's going to be the next generation when it comes to the NBA. And it kind of is a resemblance of how you remember the golden era. You had the 80s, then you had the 90s, and then you had the 2000s. And so every year there was always that one person that kind of like took over, right? So you had the 80s, you had Bird, you had Magic, you had pretty much that was it, right? Bird and Magic, right? Because they pretty much ruled the league. And then as the 90s came, you had Michael Jordan, right? And I don't know if you remember, there was a 1991 series, and it was the Lakers versus the Bulls. And you could tell Magic was still at the end of his career, but he still had it, right? Magic got all his rings. Magic had beat Bird. He had, won MVPs. Magic had, his crew with him, James Worthy. At that time, he had AC Green in 91. He had Sam Perkins, right? He had all these guys, right? But you could tell it's like, okay, and then I think Lottie Divac was just a rookie on that squad. But you could tell Michael was chomping at the bit. Michael was hungry. Michael wanted this championship for himself. He wanted the first one because he had to get to Detroit and he had to get through New York. Then now he was finally here. He had finally got to the pinnacle. And this was, maybe 7 to 8 years in, Michael got in. And so right now, at that point, Michael Jordan had to pass Magic to be considered not just a scoring champ, but also be considered one of the best. All right. And then when Michael Jordan won the championship and he beat the Lakers on their home court, it was obvious, and he was ecstatic. He was jumping up for joy because he finally got it right. He finally made it right. He finally beat the big dog of the NBA and Magic Johnson, and you could tell the passing of the mantle was past that moment, and right. And then Jordan took over of the 90s. Jordan took over from 91 all the way down to 98, right? Winning 6 championships. Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, but 6 championships, right? He beat Karl Malone and the Utah Jazz and John Stockton. He beat Clyde Drexler and them boys. And then he beat Sean Kemp and Gary Payton. All right. And then he just dominated, man. He just beat everybody that came his way, right? He had a drawback when he came to Orlando Magic after he came back after he retired, but he picked it back up, right? And won 6 championships. Now, you're probably saying Anthony Edwards, excuse me, hasn't been to a championship, but you could tell right now, he wants it, right? He's on that surge like Michael Jordan had back in 91. Anthony Edwards right now is averaging 28, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and he's shooting 44% from the field goal. Now, that is saying a lot, okay? Because we're talking about the NBA. We're talking about guys like some LeBron James, Luka. You got John Morant. You got Jason Tatum. You got Jaylen Brown. You got Jalen Brunson. I mean, you got all these guys who are hungry for a championship, especially right now in the playoffs. As you just saw, the LA Clippers just lost to Denver Nuggets. So you had Jokovic, right? He just won a championship, right? Not too long ago, right? You got them type of guys. You got even Westbrook still in the game. But let's get back to this timeline, because remember, Jordan was averaging close to 30 points a game, right? And he was averaging, a little less on assists, but he was averaging rebound. Remember, Jordan was the all defensive team, right? He was on the all defensive team. So let's think about it. This past series with Minnesota and the Lakers, who was guarding the best or the second best player on the court? It was Anthony Edwards. He was all up in LeBron's face, pushing him, egging him on. Hey, man, let's do this, right? I'm here. I'm here. There was a narrative now that these stars in the NBA, they'll take on the other stars in the NBA. It's kind of like a passive move. Like, okay, you switch, pick a role. You got that guy, you got that guy. But Anthony Edwards clearly was showing how it's my time. I'm here. I want this. I'm going to take you, LeBron James, and I'm going to take you head on. It was amazing, right? It was amazing. And Anthony Edwards was asked, do you want to be part of this new wave, right? Do you want to be the face of the league? Anthony Edwards said, no, I don't want to be the face of the league. I just want to kill guys and keep moving, right? That's what he's on record saying. But did you see the passion he had against the LA Lakers, right? And on top of that, they were a lower seed. The lower seed beat the higher seed in LA. Everybody's talking about Lakers in 5, right? Lakers in 5. Hey, Lakers in 5. What? Lakers in 5, right? But after the game, if y'all saw him on Instagram or any other post, he was like Ant-Man, Batman, Superman, Lakers in 5, right? He was talking to the Lakers fans as he was walking to his bus. What type? He was like, y'all, he said, I just beat y'all. Why y'all bothering me? Anthony Edwards has the personality, he has the confidence, he has the swag, and the boy is ready to be the face of the league. Ask me maybe a couple years ago who wanted to be the face of the league, I would have said John Morant because he was soaring to the top, right? Until he had those gun charges. And I'm like, man, ever since then, he kind of took a little decline. But Anthony Edwards has stayed consistent. I mean, he's flying through the air like Jordan. And then all of a sudden, there was a big narrative that Michael Jordan was his dad. Like, okay, all right, like that's a little bit of a stretch. But the fact that he is putting up numbers and he has a mid-range game, he has a perimeter game. If he gets hot behind the 3, watch out, man. So just think about it. I'm gonna go through these stats here. Now, this is all the games he played against the Lakers, right? He had on April 30th, 15, 11, and 8, right? On April 27th, he had 43, 9, and 6. I'm talking about rebounds and assists now. So remember, on the 30th, he had 15 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. On the 27th, he had 43 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. On the 25th of April, right? He had 29, 8, and 8. Stupid numbers, right? On the 22nd of April, he had 25 and 6 rebounds. Okay. Let's see here. And then, shoot, I'm going to take it a little further. He had 40 against the Lakers. He had 22, 8, and 9. Okay. Even when he is double teamed, he's getting over 20 points. Anthony Edwards, man, and with his crew, let's see. Let me go back on the staff because right now, we look at Anthony Edwards and his achievements, but look at the crew. He's got the towers, around him. Let's see here. Let's go to Minnesota because Minnesota right now is probably the tallest team in the league right now. It's just a matter of time. They got Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert, right? And then they got my man from Delaware, Dante DiVincenzo. Right? Come on now. We got Delaware born on the Minnesota squad trying to help Anthony get to that championship. Man, and you know what? They are a 3-point shooting team. Now they can get cold quick. You live by the 3, you die by the 3. But they are cooking right now, man. They are cooking. Anthony Edwards, you gotta take over, brother. It's your time, right? And nothing like beating Luka, LeBron, right? Ain't nothing like it. Now you gotta face I think they got to face Jazz. No, they got to face the. Let me go to this bracket here, right? Because I think they're waiting for a Golden State. They're waiting for Golden State series to end, and they got to either play Golden State or Minnesota. Let me see here. Let me see playoffs. Yeah. So, what do y'all think? Please comment because you think it's Anthony Edwards time or you think it's Jason Tatum time. Now, Jason Tatum. Even though he won a championship, he doesn't have that persona, right? He doesn't have that I want attention. Seemed like Jason Tatum is the guy who kind of sit back in the party and like have a good time, and then like he'll maybe do like a 2-step and that's it. But Anthony Edwards, he's the life of the party, right? He's gonna be in the mix, right? He's gonna be dancing, you know what I mean, slapping files with his boys, you know what I mean, and then he might be up there doing the kid and play, you know what I'm saying? I can see Anthony Edwards doing that. But Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown are kind of like, the smooth, come in, rock it out a little bit. Hey, what's up? Pointing fingers and then kind of sitting back by the fruit punch, you know what I mean? Or the spike bowl. You know what I mean? I can see them just doing that. But Anthony Edwards is it, man. I don't care what nobody say right now. He is going to be him, and he's going to be him, and his time is now. If he beats right now, let's see here, because as of right now, let's see if he has a chance. Because if Golden State, because I think Golden State's going to go to Game 7. Okay, Golden State's going to Game 7, and we know that you can't beat. It's hard to beat a champion, because in Golden State you got Steph Curry in buckets, right, and Jimmy buckets, right, Jimmy Butler, right. So right now you got the Thunder playing the Nuggets, right? That's going to be a hell of a series, right? Shea Alexander, Jokovic, all them boys. That's going to be a heck of a series. But you got right now Timberwolves. The next either be the Rockets. You got Jalen Green, and then if the Warriors win, you got Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler. If he gets through those guys, right? My God. So what you think is a better matchup for Anthony Edwards? You think Anthony Edwards can take on Jalen Green? And Shingram, and the rest of them boys, right? Or you think it's a better matchup for him playing the Rockets? Now, we all know the Rockets play small ball, right? They don't really have any length when it comes to run up and down the court. So I'll be honest with you. I think the best fit right now for Timberwolves with them playing the Warriors. I think they will run through the Warriors. I think it'd be a gentleman's sweep, just like they did gentleman's sweep against the LA Lakers. I mean, come on now. I mean, and then you're on your way. Either you got the Nuggets or Thunder. And don't be surprised if Minnesota don't come out the West, man, right now. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Thunder right now, they are legitimately the best team on paper. They really are. With Shea Alexander is going to probably win the MVP. But you can't ignore Ant-Man. Ant-Man is flying right now. And if he continues this, right, he can soar, right? And this could be just like when Jordan and Bird passed the man on to Michael, right? Michael was a high flyer. Michael had a mid-range, and Michael just needed a crew around him, right? When Michael got Steve Kerr, when Michael got Scottie Pippen, when he had guys he could trust, with like a John Paxson, right? He back in '93, dished the ball to him for a three-pointer, right? Anthony Edwards has that right now, right? DiVincenzo can shoot a three, and then you got Randall, like Julius Randall. He's finally waking up and start playing the ball, right? Rudy Gobert, Defensive Player of the Year. Come on, man. Like, what are we talking about, right? Anthony Edwards has the squad to take over this league. Only thing is that he is not a champion yet. Will he win a championship? I think so. Will he get to the pinnacle point where he's going to be the crucial deciding factor? Yes. And he's shown it with LA. Now, you probably think LA was old, right? LA just had a new coach in JJ Redick. They were injured, they were beat up. It doesn't matter. You beat LeBron James. Just like back when Michael Jordan was playing Magic Johnson. Everybody's like, well, Magic ain't in his prime. Magic, was going at the end of his career. He had a rookie squad and a lot of divas. AC Green was old in the tooth, and Sam Perkins was old in the tooth. It doesn't matter, right? Once you get on the court, it's you versus him, right? And he beat the greatest of all time in LeBron James, the scoring champ. He beat him, right? Luka, only 25 years old, the sensation, who got to the final last year. So he had experience. Beat them, hand down, right? And he's scoring, right? Scoring probably 27. He's averaging 27 right now. Let's go, Anthony Edwards. Comment though. I want to see what you think. You think Anthony Edwards is the next, is the new face of the NBA, or do you think it's Jason Tatum? You think it's Sean Alexander? I mean, we can't forget about Donovan Mitchell. That's the thing. You got Donovan Mitchell and you got the clutch man, and Jalen Brunson, right? If y'all see Jalen Brunson just the other night beat Detroit, right? I had my man on skates, right? At the end of the game, he hit a three-pointer. What do you think about that? But with being the face of the NBA, you got to have some charisma. You got to have some swag. You got to have a little bit of personality, right? You can't and I hate to say this, but you can't just be one dimensional. You can't just be like just a yes man, or just I'm going to just go to work and go home, right? You got to have something with you, just like when Ant-Man was talking to the LA Lakers fans, right? Tim Duncan. And why we on this subject, because this is the difference between being the face of the league, being great, and being face of the league, have a little charisma. Tim Duncan, when he was winning his championships, the man didn't utter a word. Okay, Mr. Fundamental, the man won 5 championships, Tim Duncan, and the man was not a personality. Literally, they have a commercial with Tim Duncan not saying nothing, and it was the hilarious commercial ever, right? But he was winning championships. Kawhi Leonard was on the team. Let's see, I'm going back to see who else was on his squad. So Kawhi Leonard, Ginobili, right? All these guys, right? But it was a core group of guys who were fundamentally sound and knew basketball. They played team sport, right? They played team ball. Then you have Popovich, right? Popovich hey, matter of fact, salute to Popovich. He just retired, right? 29 years in the NBA, 5 championships, amazing coach, top 3 coaches of all time. But they had a structured system there, right? Anthony Edwards has played for 3 coaches, right? And he is he has life, right? When he goes to these press conferences, and he's funny too. I don't know if you remember a clip, right? If you go back, it was the USA team, and Anthony Edwards was on the USA team, and when they got I think they went to like a little dinner with Barack Obama, and Barack Obama was talking to Anthony Edwards, Anthony Edwards, yeah, Anthony Davis, and a couple other guys, and Barack was trying to say, "Yo, who is this young boy?" And basically, Barack was trying to, kind of downplay him a little bit. And Anthony Edwards said, "No." He said, "Well, I am him." He said, "I think I'm the best." Hands down. He said, and then Barack was like, "Nah." He said, "Young boy, you still learning." And so he called over LeBron James and him. And LeBron was like, "What did he say?" He was like, "No." He said he was him. He's the best. He said, and LeBron said, "No wrong with that." But Anthony Edwards stood 2 toes down on what he was and what he was about. He didn't care if Barack was talking to him. He didn't care about none of that. He just, "Hey, look, man, you ain't gonna downplay what I'm doing over here. I'm that guy." That's what I'm talking about, right? Just like when Jordan was on the Dream Team, right? Back in 90, was it 92? Yeah, right? And then Amar Rashad was asking everybody who's going to take the last shot, right? Everybody was like, I will, right? And then and then Michael came up and was like, uh, Mod, Mod asked him, who's going to take the last shot? And then Jordan was like, "Me, of course. Who else?" Right? That type of like, I'm him type of attitude. Like I'm going to get the ball. I'm going to score the game. Get the ball to me, regardless. I don't care who it is, right? That's what Anthony Edwards has. Now you might say, okay, well Nelson, he's been in the playoffs before. He hasn't won the big one. What merit do we have with this? It doesn't matter, man. It's the passing of the mantle. We did have a era, right? We went from the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s, right? And I can't say this. It's sad to see that only LeBron James is left of the Dwayne Wade, the Tim Duncans, the Paul Pierce, the list goes on, the Ray Allens, the Dirk Nowitzki's. Like, that era is gone, right? Now you coming up, with these young boys that were born in like 93 or 2000, right? Between 93 and 2000, you got these young boys coming up now that is basically, very kind of shy when it comes to, kind of like taking the mantle. But I don't think Anthony Edwards is it, man. He is it. Come on, if you think about it, he's the hottest thing right now, right? And especially when he was like Ant-Man, Superman, Batman, Lakers in 5, right? That was the thing, right? Lakers in 5. So tell me what you think, man. Just want to get on here real quick and come holler at y'all. But this playoff series is so, like they say, it's so dramatic, right? We got a lot of storylines here. I think, with Halliburton's dad coming out of nowhere talking to Giannis on the court, Like, where'd that come from, right? And then you got, Spider-Man and with the Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell. They just beat the Heat for nothing, right? Um, but then you got the Knicks and the Celtics. I think that's going to be a great series. I think that's going to go down to Game 7 because you got two defensive minded teams, half court teams that just going to just battle it out. But here we go again, man. We got the West. This is looking very powerful, man. The Thunder, the Nuggets, and you got hopefully the Timberwolves get the Warriors because the Rockets they're gonna run up and down. That would be a better matchup to watch if it was the Rockets and Timberwolves. But you got right now, everybody think the Warriors is gonna win. Even though they lost last night or the other night, 120-101. But still, I think the Timberwolves can handle both of them. But let's see, man. Let's see what happens. Y'all comment and tell me what y'all think. You think Jason Tatum should be the face of the league? You think Anthony Edwards should be the face of the team? John Morant, Jalen Brunson, Sean Alexander, who will win the MVP this year, I think. But who do you think should be the face of the league right now? And it's the passing on the mantle. LeBron, baby boy, you just gotta give it up, man. I mean, you 40, 41, 42, brother. You 41, 41, and them boys ran y'all ragged, man. They did. Them boys, them young legs, man. It's the passing in the mantle. You still got Westbrook. You still got oh man, I'm thinking about the LA Clippers. Um, who's on their squad? They look old too, man. I mean, I don't know, man. What's his name? I can't think of his name because he was irrelevant, right? In playoffs, I can't even think of his name because he was irrelevant. um, but James Harden, right? James Harden, and then you got you know, and please be with Ty Lue. Like I don't know whether he's gonna be an LA Clipper coach too much longer. Hopefully he is, but man, it's amazing. But you got Halliburton, that's a new up and comer. It's just a whole bunch of new guys, man. But I think who's leading the pack right now and these new guys and this new generation is Anthony Edwards. All right, guys. I'm off, man. But comment below, tell me what you think, and let's make it happen. All right, peace.